Yeah.
That's the thing. We could go on and on for
But we can share
decades.
what we know, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
And our knowledge is great and profound.
Well, in this stuff, one thing always leads to another. I listed what I did because I wanted to explain how it's like a domino effect. Like, people are like, well, I just did this once. And I would say, like, the majority of the
that's
people...
what the crackhead said. I just tried it once.
Exactly. It is. It became an addiction for me. So
Then I ate paint.
I started out having an interest in this stuff because when I was little, I was seeing spirits, and as people who have listened to our past things or read my book know that my family was involved with witchcraft, so it sort of fell upon me to have that interest. It was embedded in me, you know.
Well, you had a lot of stuff that would draw you that way.
Yeah. So, you know, there was stuff already in my house before I was born. So I had this interest already in me, and it led to a curiosity, so I would go out and look for books. And then I'd start practicing what was in the books. Then I was studying out the individual things in the books. And then I was researching the authors of the books. And then all of a sudden, their beliefs came mine. And I really didn't even form my own belief. I thought I did. I thought I had my own set of beliefs, but it was really a combination of other people. So I wanted to know more because I was thirsty. You know, it no longer was a want, but a need.
Water.
No, I don't want your water. My passion became an addiction is what happened.
Addicted to water?
No, much of the divination worked. So it was a big deal. You know, but with it came those consequences. You know, I had night terrors, sicknesses. I was being visited by spirits. I was seeing dark shadows.
I have that. Oh, I told you about that before.
What?
The dark shadow thing.
No.
I told you about that. Every time I go outside, there's one following me around.
That's when the sun's out, hon. That's your shadow. Yeah, Revelation.
But sometimes he's really tall, and I'm not that tall. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like, he can be like...
Maybe it's Slender Man. Maybe you better...
really tall, like 12, 14 feet tall. And I'm like, I'm not nowhere near that, so...
We're gonna be talking about light casting and stuff later,
Okay,
so
all right.
you understand all that.
Just a little concerned.
Paranoia. I had paranoia really bad. Anger. Oh boy, I was an angry kid, and I didn't even know where this anger came from. You know, and then I isolated myself.
Angry. I blow up the world and solve all their problems.
Spiritual oppression was in me. It manifested as a haunting around me, and it all came from me, you know, it was like a snowball. You just add more and more, and it gets bigger and bigger. And that's what happens. So, like, I had a neighbor once say, oh, you know, I just read my horoscope. Okay, no big deal. Like, you know, that's a form of divination because it's not that you're doing it, you're reading it. So, but what happens is every time it's right, she forms a belief and a faith.
Yeah.
It goes into something else. So now she's like, you know, I should try that psychic because she does astrology. And just, it keeps going.
Right.
You know,
right.
so...
You know, I did try a Ouija board once, and, you know, what did you use?
I think I used it all.
Yeah.
Tarot,
everything.
ruins, tea leaves, Ouija boards, auto writing, stones, seances. I did seances. I did everything. So
wow.
But the thing was, I didn't need to, though, because the spirits came to me. But,
yes.
But they always said what they wanted to say. See, I wanted control of the conversation. Yes. I wanted to know things, you know.
I know when we ghost hunted and did, like, paranormal investigating, you know, we looked for spirits. We wanted answers. Ultimately, we wanted proof. The spirit would, in the spirit world, it's kind of hidden from our eyes.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see it. And for us, in the seeking of it all was a matter of solidifying what was going on with the client and being able to have answers. It wasn't so much, I want to play with this thing and I want to... You know, manifest these things. It's like, okay, there's something going on here, and we need to help. And in the process of helping, we kind of need to know what the problem is.
Yeah.
So it's like going to the doctor. He doesn't just say, "Here's some aspirin." He's like, "Okay, well, let's do some tests." Same thing we did. All right. Well, what's going on? Do we have EVPs? Do we have smells? Do we have sounds? Do we have a person that's, you know, all with it, and this is really happening? And
yep.
Of course, with your spiritual gifts that you and some of our team members have, it allowed us to say, yeah, there really is something going on here.
We try to confirm it by every avenue we could.
Yeah. And usually, I mean, because we took time in investigating everything before we even went, we really didn't have any falsities. we pretty much washed them out before we even left.
Right.
It's like we had people that would, I need this and this is going on and that's going on, and after a few days of, prayer and checking things out, we realize, okay, this person's a loon. We're not going.
Well, that's like that question a couple of weeks ago when the guys from Paratruth Radio had asked us, did you guys ever make a mistake?
That was the stupidest question I ever heard in my life.
Stop. People, we make mistakes. We make mistakes.
Oh my God! Don't bring that back up. I can't handle the laughter.
We made mistakes. Not those mistakes, though, because they asked, did you ever give the client information and then find out later it was false? But we went up and down, back and forth, everything with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that everything was valid, because we never wanted to present. And then there were probably times we didn't give clients information because we weren't sure. So
yeah, we held back
extra
stuff
careful.
sometimes. Just like,
yeah, you don't want to freak them
not
out
too sure
either.
about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know she doesn't see the couch, levitating behind her, but I don't need to know.
Well, she's a little focused on the curtain moving above the air conditioner. So, well, there's information that cannot be gained by normal means of learning. We aren't supposed to see it. We're supposed to feel it, experience it, and know it spiritually.
Feel from within.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
from within the soul.
But that is
Yes.
within us. If we
Yes,
start using tools, seeking out spirits to help.
Tools.
That voice is so creepy.
Oh.
You sound like you're going to hop out of a van and go, want some candy? I'm going to rob your house. It's like, oh, Yoda's back. Well, people think that they're talking to a deceased loved one a lot of times. Ghost
Very
hunters
common.
think it's a ghost or a trapped spirit. Mediums will call it a lost soul. And investigators may believe it's a poltergeist. But we can't forget that evil or unclean spirits, demonic spirits, they want us to desire knowledge of the future. They want to lure us in somehow and give us enough truth to solidify our belief. Because they want us to believe. This is where my opinion of residual hauntings come in. I know we differ a little bit on this. I believe that demonic spirits want us to believe in residual because they want to lure us in more. So, but I mean, I'm not saying I'm right. That's just my thoughts.
It's one of those things that's
just
difficult
don't
to
know.
put an answer to.
Yeah, and we don't need to know either.
No, we don't really need to know.
But,
But
you
I
know-
mean, there's no one that can tell me either way.
Yeah.
Is it residual? Is it something that repeats itself? Is it something that's actually current? We
Right.
don't have an answer to it.
And also, I cannot physically grasp residual energy, what could cause it, a haunting. So maybe that's why I lean more towards the demonic answer, because it's easier for me to understand the spiritual aspect versus...
Well, sound, once it's sound is like light. It really never stops.
Yeah, but that I don't get.
Well, you better get it quick.
Don't they say if you flash a flashlight up into the
The
sky...
light goes on forever.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense because you
It
turned
does.
it off.
It doesn't matter. If that beam of light does not go anywhere, it's not absorbed. It just continues.
So if I was in a spaceship in the
Yes.
space, and you were down here, and you flashed a flashlight, I'd see it zipping by me.
Well,
See, I
it
don't
might
get
be
it.
hard to focus on that, but I mean, in a way, yes. But you wouldn't be able to physically see it. But yeah, in a way,
See, that gets
because
way
it would
deep.
be like kind of dissolved and out there. But the light's still there. It's like sound.
Oh. Well, see, and people believe that junk, but they don't believe in spirits. It doesn't make sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
suit
So.
yourself then.
Interesting. So, yeah, we have to be careful on where we're getting our information from. And we always say that, because they want to influence the present and manipulate what is and control people in life.
Yeah, the truth is we can't. The power is really beyond our capabilities.
Yeah, we can't control or manipulate spirits. People think that they can, and
Well, they think to, and they
you're
can-
being
and they-
manipulated.
They're being manipulated into believing that they're manipulating the situation.
Whoa.
And
Yeah.
which is perfect, because people always want to have a sense of control and authority, and it's like, oh yeah, I found this out and the spirit told me this, and then I asked the spirit this and it told me this and it was true, and
Yep.
tell me this and tell me that, and for a while that's exactly what'll happen if you get into this thing deep enough.
Yeah.
You know.
You know what's a neat story? You just made me think of something. I had a friend named Val, and you probably remember her. And I met her when I worked for the Psychic Hotline. And she started calling me through the Psychic Hotline. That's actually how I met her. And I started giving her readings, and she was paying me lots of money. And I was helping her. Now, yeah, I was making money, but I was doing it because I felt good about helping her. And we just talked so much. Then we started talking about email, and then I started giving her free readings or whatever, and she just couldn't believe how accurate I was.
I remember this.
Yeah.
I do remember
So
this.
then we just became really good friends. She even came out for my birthday one time because she lived around here by coincidence. But then the problem was when we became Christians and I stopped doing that stuff and I got rid of that whole lifestyle, all of a sudden she'd be like, oh, can you read for me? And I would try, and I couldn't do it. I was wrong every time. And obviously our relationship sort of faded.
Yes.
But the point is that there was a hindrance there. Sort of like when you...
It was a rock.
I was just going to say a rock. Yes, when you're in front of, a certain power and a rock blocks it, it's gone, baby. So, I just thought that was an interesting little thing. I don't know. So we derive all our energy when we're doing divination from something supernatural. But once we seek it out, it does not let go of us easily. And
No,
it
not
holds
going to.
on. And it holds on. And you know what? It decays our soul. It decays us, our body,
Yes.
our lifestyle.
Okay.
So I want to read a story. Okay?
Oh, goody.
Story time.
Story time.
This
Wait,
is-
I gotta get some popcorn.
No, this is a true
Some
story.
candy, some soda pop.
Yes. This is an example of how evil works with divination. So bear with me because I got to read this because it's...
Bear with her.
So there's this 12-year-old boy in Taiwan, and he was having strange experiences. He felt like someone was following... And this was at a minister who came to visit Taiwan told this story. So this kid was having strange experiences. He felt like someone was following him all the time. But when he turned around, no one was there. Okay? So he had restless sleep, sometimes bruises and scratches. He told his parents someone was hitting him while he slept. I don't know why, like if he thought that or if he was physically, I don't know about that part, but his parents took him to the doctors to be checked out. So it was psychological and physical and all that, and they found nothing wrong with him. They chalked it up to him hurting himself when he was sleeping, like having nightmares or something. So the parents didn't buy that. They were like, no, there's more to this because this kid was being traumatized,
Right.
So someone tells these parents about this medium and healer in their place, like their little neighborhood, or I don't know what you would call it in Taiwan. So the psychic tells them that she sees the boy as a twin and that the other twin had died at birth. Well, the parents knew this, but no one else knew this. And the boy didn't know. And it was true. He had a twin. So she says that the unrested spirit of this deceased twin was angry and felt rejected and now stuck in the spirit realm. So far, see where we're going with this. The psychic gets this information and the parents are like,
And it's
whoa.
accurate.
It's very accurate. So she says this is how you solve the problem. So now they trust her because she has information that there's no way she could have known. So
Right.
she's obviously a smart lady. So she says this is how you solve it. You have to show attention and affection to this spirit of your dead kid. Nice. So they suggest that they set up an altar for the spirit of the deceased twin and honor him with food and incense on a daily basis. And then when the family did this, guess what happened?
Everything stopped, probably.
You bet. Everything stopped. So, here's the thing. Why did this work? Because the dad, first of all, let's backtrack a little bit. The dad was starting, now this is in Taiwan, and I think there's Buddhists out there and stuff. But he was starting to go to a Christian church, and he was going to start doing outreach and stuff with people, be a street minister. He was just learning and stuff. But once he got involved with this, the spirits, evil spirits, were trying to lure him away. See, the spirits that were tormenting the child were doing what they do. They enjoy tormenting people. So that's what they were doing to the boy. But they're very clever. See, the medium is connected to real spiritual knowledge. The unclean spirits told the psychic about the twin, and the spirits gave him the prescription. The other spirits stopped tormenting the boy because they've immersed that whole family in beliefs and practices of spirit worship. So now this family is practicing, at the time, stuff that they shouldn't.
Right.
But the story goes then, though, now years later, the story's being told by the parents, by the dad, because they started having hauntings and
I want to go
bad
a
stuff.
little further.
Yeah, and this was years down the line. It took years for this
Right.
haunting to manifest, and it did. And they turned back to the church that they originally started going to, and they got it all
So
worked
God
out.
had his way at the end.
Sure, he always does.
But and I've used this thought before, where two people are trying to get on a boat, to go on a boat ride. The one guy just misses that boat by just a few inches, and it departs. He never gets to it. The other guy never even left the house to get on the same boat ride. So the question is, who missed the boat?
They both did.
They both did. And that's all the adversary is interested in doing. It's just having you miss the mark. So this guy's on a path. Maybe he's going to do some good with the ministry. Maybe he's going to become a Christian, do all this stuff. It's like, here